Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be learning about how we plan out an experiment. So you have something that you would like to test. How do you go about planning an experiment for that? So I'm going to imagine that I have a ramp and I have a car that I can put on the ramp and the car rolls down the ramp. So I want to do an experiment on that. I want to see what affects that car. So we're investigating cars rolling down ramps. So I have to think to myself, what are all the things that could change in that scenario? Well, I could change, I could change the material of the wheels, the tires, we'll say. Okay, I could change the diameter of the tires. So all these things could affect the way that my car rolls down the ramp. Okay, I could change the width of the tires. I could change the weight of the car. I could change, spelling mistake. There we go. I could change things about the ramp too. I could change the height of the ramp. And I could change the surface of the ramp. So rough, smooth, whatever. Okay. I'm sure there's other things too. We'll leave it at that. If there are additional things though, you have to write that in the margin beside your planning sheet. Just to make sure you need to get everything in. It's quite important. Okay, so things that we could measure. Well, I could measure the distance the car rolls. I could measure the time taken to get to the end of the ramp. Okay, if I know those two things too, I could calculate the speed, because speed equals distance over time. Okay, so I can measure all those things about how the car rolls down the ramp. So now what I need to do is I need to choose one thing that I'm going to change. So in this area here, right in here, this area here, I said these are all the things that could affect my car. I have to choose one thing out of those. So I'm going to choose the weight, or actually I should say the mass of the car. But I'll leave it as weight for now, it's fine. Okay, that is the one thing that I'm going to change. I call that my independent variable. Okay, now I also have to choose a dependent variable, or the thing that I'm going to measure or observe. Now it's called the dependent variable because it depends on the independent variable. So I'm going to choose time. I'm going to measure the time it takes to roll down the ramp. Okay, so I'm changing the weight of the car and I'm going to measure the time, how long it takes to roll down the ramp. Now the last thing I need to do is I need to think to myself, is my independent variable, right, the weight of the car here, is that categoric or numeric? Now this is important because later on it will tell me what kind of graph I have to draw. So in this case, the weight of the car, I could start at 100 grams, I could change it to 110 grams, I could change it to 120 grams, I could change it to 130 grams, each time rolling it down the ramp and measuring how long it takes to get down to the end of the ramp. Okay, so because those weights are numbers, right, 100, 110, 120, 130, so on and so forth, right, I call that a numeric, okay, because they're numbers, so it's a numeric variable. Now, if you're not sure how to tell the difference between a numeric and a categoric variable, there's another video that you can watch, so have a look at that one. And that is how we plan out what variables we're going to use in our investigation. Okay, so it doesn't matter what investigation you're doing, you always think about what it is you're investigating, and then you write down all the things that could change to affect that investigation. And then you think about all the things you could measure, and you write them down, and you choose one thing to change and one thing to measure. And that's an experiment. Okay, good luck with that, and as always, remember, if you have any questions, just ask. Okay, bye.